tension is working, but the whole thing is put under tension. I need to put on my glasses. I read that said make 10 punk journals or your normal your normal signatures will feel utilitarian. Interesting. Of course I can make this car fit in this journal. Watch. um, yeah, so that is the spine. One thing that I've added, and this is for the second time, but I've scaled it up in a new way. I've made one journal before that had a ribbon bookmark stitched into the spine. So it's stitched here. This one has three, so I stepped it up. This one has three ribbon bookmarks that are stitched in at this top link stitch, come through the pages, and then dangle out the bottom. There are these leather tags here that hide the end of the ribbon that's folded over underneath and melted so it won't fray. And the other ones I have assembled with charms. These ones, Auntie Sasquatch is going to order the charms to her and put them onto these jump rings. I should actually wear my contacts today. Yeah, that would, if you're gonna stream, unless you come up with a look that would be like glasses specific. That might be kind of fun. I don't know what that would entail, but yeah, so those are the bookmarks. I've got black, green, and black. And the green, I think, looks really, really nice with the burgundy and is a great little pop of color. Typically, I've been doing one color and neutrals within a journal. So browns, blacks, grays, metal finishes like brass or antiqued brass, nickel, antique nickel, that kind of thing. And typically it would have one color. So whether that's like a stitching color or a red leather or a green leather or a blue leather or a purple leather, whatever. There have been a couple of pieces where I've had specific requests for, like I think it was Momo ordered a blue nephew journal, so very similar to this, but scaled down and without the bookmarks and the carving. Blue leather, purple stitching. And then I also had one, I had a commission come in for school colors that were blue and yellow. So I did blue leather and yellow stitching. Those went really well. But again, typically I really limit my palette. I want to break out from that a little bit. I really love how the other journal is coming together with the green and purple on the brown. This with the burgundy and green. The green just happened to be a color that I found at our craft thrift store. And that was very serendipitous because I think it adds a lot to this piece. Phew. Earlier today, I watched a YouTube about how to use up even the tiniest piece of scrap leather. See, I leather on the brain so much that you wrote scrap paper and I read scrap leather. Earlier today, I watched YouTube about how to use up even the tiniest piece of scrap paper for ephemera. 5 minutes later, I ran down to the paper tray to get my waste paper back. My paper waste back. Wow. You should see my floor. Oh my goodness. I bet. Red, yellow, leather, yellow. Ugh. I'm not even, I cannot. I'm already tongue-tied just like on this energy drink and big fish, blue fish. Oh yeah. You know I'm gonna need a neon pink journal next. That will be really interesting. What I'm thinking of for that, for like the colors like that, it's probably gonna need to be garment leather. Which hopefully will be this substantial. If it's not, we might wind up doing something wrapped, which would be another set of techniques for me to learn. That would be very exciting. But yeah, I think it's going to be garment leather that's going to give you colors like that. And a neon pink is going to need to be painted rather than dyed. It can be a little journal too, if that helps. It doesn't... Size, we can... maybe, maybe not. Leather painted, Colin Devon. Yeah, so not necessarily. I mean, we could do a decorative painting on top of that, but I'm talking about like a hide that is the whole thing painted pink. Like if you think about if you've ever seen like white leather anywhere, right? You can't dye white. White has to come from pigment, so that means paint. So like my grandmother has this white chair in her living room, and that must be a painted leather. That chair, I wish I knew who supplied the leather for that because that paint has held up for decades and decades and decades and decades, and it has some minor cracking and otherwise looks absolutely pristine. It is so beautiful. And with like a lot of cheap um, furniture, you'll get like a cheaply painted or even a bonded leather, and you get like big patches flaking off. That's terrible. I've even bought some leather that was coated that I've had some issues with like the coating. So when we when we do a neon pink journal, um, I'm that'll be really cool to find a good supplier for that kind of thing, and that's going to open the doors up for even more like materials that I can use. But yeah, no, I'm not going to be. I don't think I'm going to be painting that myself. I'll buy it painted. Nice. So what we just did was the front cover pocket. The pockets are different on this one. This one opens toward the spine. They both open to the right. This one opens toward the spine, and it because it opens toward the spine, I cut a bit of a bevel into it, so that you didn't have to like really get like sneak past the paper. I wanted this to be more accessible from above, and open up wider too. And it can do that because when the journal is closed, it's closed off by the spine. On this side, this pocket panel was cut with another live edge. This one is more subtle, still has some really nice character to it, even further in. Got some creasing. Yeah, even this creasing would be considered a defect, even though it's subtle. In again, according to certain aesthetic preferences. Um, I love that, especially in a place where there's going to be flexion here. There, as as anti Sasquatch is putting things in and taking things out from this pocket, if anything, that character will be enhanced as the leather breaks in, and it's gonna like there's gonna be um, it's gonna like participate in the process of like developing a patina. So that's going to be really special. And then I think the last thing to show off before we get back to assembly is the personalization and branding. So this is my large format brand stamp, Pausanias of Ithaca in Greek lettering, 2017 for the year, actually the year that I made my first journal was for a vacation that I took in summer 2017. And then initials here. So yeah, that's how I do. got some dust that I'm just brushing off here. Oh, speaking of patina, I'll remind you of this, but I just wanted to let you know now, Kristen. The leather that I used for the carving in particular is going to be very sensitive to like pressure and particularly edges and points. Um, it holds up pretty well to scuffs, but like a fingernail going across it, or like if you drag something across it that has like uh, I don't know, like kind of an edge to it, it will tend to mark up the leather. And there are a couple of little faint marks in here that I couldn't avoid making. I'm going to try my best to mask this off um, for shipping.
We've been talking about cool
And
its
again, like,
ramifications and how it
I
applies to
really
the
like
ship scene.
patina.
But maybe you could give us some
And
examples
I
now of
think
the
if you're
opposite of
careful
cool.
with it and it
Uncool.
gets
Negative is
some
uncool.
little dings here and there, I
Is
think this will
uncool
develop
claiming he used to run with
a
Bird, or
nice
does he
textured
have Bird's
patina.
axe?
But
Hey, it's
um,
even less cool to ask who is Bird.
you can definitely put some
It's
pronounced
uncool to
marks
not
in this
speak to
that
the
won't
ring for the
come
landing
out.
chain.
Um,
It's
and
uncool for any PR
just
code
something for
registered
you to be aware of.
pharmacist. Uncool for the
Keep
whole
the
family.
kittens away.
It's uncool to budget
Yeah,
with a known fate.
maybe.
It's uncool to ask where'd you get it.
It should like
It's
the piece should
disastrously
hold up
uncool to
pretty
put
well.
friends you've never had
I
as
can
important
imagine
guests with
some little
packages
claw
from
marks in
Mexico.
here. That could definitely
It's
give it
uncool to ask
character.
where'd you get it.
And I think
And it is
the
uncool
cover
to wear
letter,
shades
the
after sunset.
cover
Unless you
leather,
should be wearing shades after sunset. In
um,
which case it is uncool to
the
say you
cover
are.
leather will also like obviously it's not going to be impervious. Um, it will also take on patina. It's not going to take on impressions quite as readily as the carved patch will. Those same properties are what helps this leather carve so well. So it's it was a blessing for me, um, but it does make it a little susceptible to like dents and like grooves and stuff like that. I'm not too worried. Okay, good. Just so you know what to expect. And like so you can give you can give this journal the kind of exposure that will result in the patina that you want. I definitely I'm not going to steer you toward babying this by any means. Um, I really would rather see my work loved to death. Actually, um, but just so you know what to expect and you can make informed decisions about patina. I'm incapable of babying my possessions. Don't worry. Oh, good. Absolute dream client. Where did I put my scissors? There they are. Why did I put them over there? I I always hide stuff on myself. I don't know why I do it. Did you get that thread off of a 400-pound spider? Yeah, it's pretty thick. This is mil. Yeah, this is 1 millimeter, and it's woven. It's not twisted. This is tiger thread. This is the thread to use in leatherworking, unless you're restricted to natural fibers. Totally valid. Um, I started out with hemp thread. I really liked working with it at the time. I liked waxing it. I liked, natural. I liked the natural color of it that I got. Um, but this stuff is just so good. It's pre-waxed. It's flat instead of round. It's woven, so it really locks onto these needles, and you don't have to worry about the tail untwisting. You can melt it. It comes in a ton of colors and it is incredibly strong. This stuff is really, really nice to work with. Don't answer that if the answer is yes, please. So is it like Fireline for beaters? I don't have the kind of beating vocabulary. Let me take a look so I can give you an answer there. Fireline. Fireline. Beating. Fireline beating thread. Pre-wax, so in that sense, yes. Let's look at... Oh. Oh, nice. Huh. I just realized that my VPN is interfering with Google's ad services. Nice. So when I'm searching in Google, if I click on a sponsored result, it gets screwed up because of my VPN. Suck it, Google. All right, let's look at eurekacrystalbeads.com. 0.005 inches. I wonder what that translates to in millimeters. Team Fireline, Team Wildfire. Two kinds of beaters. Oh, interesting. Microfused braided bead thread. I don't think... So this stuff isn't fused, which is important because you actually need to pierce the thread with the needle in order to lock the end of the thread onto the needle. So like I'm taking a long tail. Let me see how I want to show this. I'm taking a long... Where am I? Okay, I'm taking a long thread on my needle and then piercing it on the point. So it doesn't sound like you could do that with a fused braid. So different in that way, but otherwise, when it comes down to the basic like braided construction of the thread, and I looped that the wrong way, sounds like it, yeah. And are there like two brands that have like loyal followings? What did I do? I have never had this happen before. How did I make that so much worse? You can take the thinnest gauge Fireline and use it to hang a piano up a tree. Wow. Yeah, no, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm going nowhere fast with this. There we go. Okay, so that pulled through. Okay. All right. Now, so we've got the tail of the thread pierced on the needle, and I'm going to bring it over the eye so that the thread is going through itself. Then I'm going to tighten that loop down, and that is how I keep one end of a thread on the needle. So yeah, I don't think you could do that with a fused braid. But yeah, what's Team Fireline versus Team Wildfire? But then you'll have such a long thread. Okay, I want to be stitching toward myself on the long section. So I think what I'm going to do is... Yeah, I'm going to start up here. Wildfire is also a beating thread. Okay, so they're competing thread makes. Yeah, I don't know that there is a rivalry with Ritza Tiger Thread in that way. I certainly haven't. I certainly don't remember encountering one. I do know that like Filo Chinois is a like high-end preferred thread if you're using linen thread. And I'm sure there's some spirited debate between the Philo Chinois camp and the Tiger Thread camp. But it sounds like Wildfire and Fireline might be more like more directly comparable. I officially have too much hair. I don't know. I think you should figure out like a cool new hairstyle to do that incorporates the shorter hair that you're growing out from your undercut and the longer hair. I think that would be really tricky to do, but I think you could come up with a really cool look that way. Oh, I am. I'm gonna do an Aurora look. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Yeah. They're both basically the exact same and cost the same and look the same and the same quality, but you have to choose one. Hopefully, most people just do that for fun and are not actually militant about that. Whoops. Why am I like putting knots in everything? What the heck? Yes, but we also fight over it for fun. Okay. As long as everyone knows it's for fun. Because I can imagine some chronically online people getting way too up in arms over that. It's like with sports ball. Yeah, same thing. It's like some people some people do have a tendency to forget that sports is for fun, but less serious, I think. Yeah. Okay. Some of the sports ball enthusiasts can get really mean or like really depressed. That's the other side of it, right? Or really beaten up. Yeah. Whew. Okay, hopefully starting this line up will be a little bit less of a pain in the butt than starting up the other one was. I think I'm already doing pretty good. Okay, back to drawing. Wait a second. Wait a second. Dave Ross's subscription was a 28-month resub? That like totally passed me by. How? How is that possible? It it has not been a very good 28 months to be subscribed to my channel. All right. For the next I'm going to be working for the next 28 months to make that up to you. I want to make sure you miss a lot of ads on my stream over the next 28 months. Holy crap. Okay, back to drawing. This should be the last round. Thank you very, very, very much. That is just that is incredibly generous of you, and my other subscribers as well. Like the fact that I I haven't even been around much recently, and I have subscribers, let alone like double-digit resub numbers. Um, I I really just can't thank you enough for the support. It's such a special thing. Um, thank you very much. That really does mean a lot coming from the two of you. It really does. The fa- and you too, Kat. You're the best as well. Takes one to know one. Uh-oh. I see where this is going. Um, just like being able to being able to focus on navigating the life changes that I have had recently, and knowing that no matter how infrequently I stream, and no matter how long it's been since the last time I broadcast, I hit that start stream button. The fact that like you all show up, um, that that is really really special to me, and something that I never expected um, when I started on Twitch. Like I didn't even know that there was a makers and crafting category on Twitch until shortly before I started streaming. And when I did start streaming, I had absolutely no expectation for the kind of community that we have here. And it really does sound cliche, but that has been life changing for me. Finding that kind of community, especially when I did during the pandemic, between moves and in like a really uncertain time in my career. No, I'm not gonna start crying. It takes a lot. That it takes a lot. Um, I'm like you can imagine that I'm ugly crying on the inside. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna start crying. Yeah, you are a trendsetter, anti-Sasquatch. Same. I just started watching one of my gamer friends. I discovered the art makers and crafting side of Twitch, and that gave me the push to start. Uh oh. Uh oh. How about now? I do want a clip of you fake ugly crying now. I'm not fake ugly. Oh man. But that would be fun. I love to hear that this has been so beneficial for you. You're such a great part of the community, and I'm so happy to know you. Likewise. Likewise. And yeah, that like there's just so much of that mutuality and admiration and support here, and not even just being third party to it. I love to see all of that support and energy and ideas and excitement and celebration floating around. Um, it's a really amazing thing that we all are participating in here. Ugly cry, ugly cry. What if we start chanting? Oh, thanks a lot, Babe Ross. Is he laughing or crying? Don't start with me. Oh my gosh. I see that nudge. I see that nudge. Oh man. Do it. No. You know you're prettier when you ugly cry. Oh my gosh. I think that's a Lana Del Rey song, isn't it? Is that on? Ult- is that on Ultraviolence? I think that one's on Ultraviolence. I have Ultraviolence on vinyl.